Many faiths that have amazing histories in their sacred spaces. Tonight, Suzanne Lawler takes us inside Temple Beth Israel in Macon.
Immigrants sacrificed in the mid-1800s to build something that 163 years later has a very rich tradition.
The first time I walked into the sanctuary, I was blown away at how gorgeous it is. The light that was simply coming in from the stained glass.
Temple Beth Israel is beautiful. The building's on the National Registry of Historic Places. But 163 years ago, things looked a lot different. In what became Temple Beth Israel in 1859, a group of Jewish people rented a space on the second floor above a shop called Horn's Confectionery. It was $12.50 a month for rent, and they bought their first Torah the next year for $110.
It was so imperative that congregation have a building and a place to meet that they sacrificed in many regards to guarantee their future prosperity.
Rabbi Elizabeth Bahar says in the early days, temple leaders asked folks to commit to giving for 3 years to buy a building. These are big numbers for the mid-1800s.
One thing that my mother took a lot of pride in was that this is one of the oldest Reform Jewish congregations in the country.
Joan Becker's roots go back 5 generations at the temple. A Reform congregation means a few things. One of them is that they speak both English and Hebrew during the service. And no matter what language they speak, an eye stares down from the center of the room.
And as you sit in here and have the eye of God watch over you, you can also understand that that eye accompanies you when you exit here, to be mindful of being aware of before whom you stand at all times.
And I also remember as a small child being absolutely terrified of the eye of God in the dome. He has age spots under his eyes too. I'm not sure that anybody told him about sun protection.
The Torah, or the Jewish Word of God, sits protected in ornate cloth on the altar in what's called the Ark.
Of the light, yom, day, v'lechoshech kara laila, and of the night, or the darkness, called night. When we move the Torah from the Ark, we march it around the sanctuary and people kiss it and they honor it. It's a very sacred object for us.
These angels represent the 7 days of creation. And as for this congregation, they've created a sacred space that's lasted through the decades. Suzanne Lawler.
There's just something beautiful about what happens when people gather together and pray.
13 WMAZ News.
The temple is partnering with 9 other faith groups to host an interfaith Thanksgiving service. It is tonight at 6 p.m. at Mulberry Street United Methodist Church. They invite folks to come out and participate in a service project after the service.